the church where my husband was actually saved when he was a boy. And so it was really kind of nostalgic, and just driving back through my old hometown where I grew up and some of those memories as a little girl. I drove by the church where I was saved, and I just was reminded that when God says in Psalms 139 that he knew us before we were ever born, and that all of our days were written in his book, I just had a new awareness of all of that, because at my age, some of those events of my childhood and growing up years kind of start just to become a distant memory. But when you go back to revisit some of those places of your past, it brings out some of those old memories and emotions, and I just was kind of overwhelmed. I didn't expect it to happen, but I was driving on the interstate headed toward my old hometown where I lived as a little girl, and seeing the road ahead of me, all of a sudden I just felt like, wow, this is a spiritual journey. I am headed to speak at a church where my husband was when he was a little boy, driving through a town that not far away where I grew up, although we didn't know each other until we were seniors in high school. Just some of the events that happened, and some of the locations where we probably even crossed paths when we were young and didn't even know it. I mean, that's just kind of crazy, kind of mind-boggling. But what I wanted to share was just how sometimes we don't really see what God's doing until later. Like, often we just wish we knew kind of what God's up to. We know he's at work, and we know that he's on his throne, and so he's allowing things to happen, and he's watching, and he's working in ways that sometimes we just can't see. And when you get to be my age, sometimes you can look back and you go, wow, that was God all along, working in my life, working in my family, different things like that. And I just was reminded of Ann Graham Lotz. She just spoke at our church last week, and she was telling her story and talked about how when her husband passed away, she just felt kind of lost and really struggling, and she just felt like her world was falling apart. And God gently just reminded her of that truth, that he is in control. And she said, he just softly and gently said, Anne, your world is not falling apart, it's falling into place. And I love that, because it means that nothing is an accident, that God is sovereign, and that even when he allows difficulties to come, like he did with Job, or every one of us have stories we could tell about difficulties in our life. He doesn't give us any kind of promise that those difficulties won't come, but he does promise us that he'll go with us, that he is already there preparing everything that we need for that situation, and he goes with us through that whenever we reach out to him. He says, if you seek me, you'll find me, if you seek me with all your heart, in Jeremiah 29. And that's just a comfort. I went to the speaking engagement with some trepidation, because I do not really enjoy that. I mean, there's some things in life that I just love and I can do it easily, but speaking is not really one of those. It's out of my comfort zone. But what I can say today is I can say that he met me there. He gave me some really incredible moments of just seeing how he prepared for me to be the one to share with those women how to abide in him. And it wasn't just for them, it was for me too. And so I'm grateful today that we can rest in him. He is the master gardener, and we can trust him in everything. And so I hope that encourages you today, because some of you are going through difficult times. Some of you maybe you're just kind of feeling like you're alive again, because 2021 you're able to get out and do things more, and not have so much fear. So whatever it is that you're looking for today, I pray that you'll turn to the Word. I pray that you'll turn to Jesus, and that you'll just say yes to God, whatever it is He has for you today. You know, all we can do is be obedient, and God always honors our obedience, and I'm a testimony to that. So thanks for listening. I hope you have a great weekend and enjoy your Sabbath tomorrow.